Welcome! Hey, it's Jane here. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. We're going to be going over our formula for success. And really, this formula is a process I've been using for years and years, and we'll continue to use it because it's the perfect foundation for all the work that we want to do here in 2012 and beyond. So, you have my website address listed here, and also any homework or feedback that you want to send me, please send to jane@millerinstitute.com. So take plenty of notes, and here we go. Again, as I mentioned, I have a formula that I want to share with you. It's called the Formula for Success. I believe in it so much that I base all the work that I do with my clients and customers around it. So let's take a good look at it here. So you can see that A stands for attitudes. Then we add our skills and knowledge that is needed. We pop in some all-important goals because goals make it easier to follow and change your behaviors. And after all, let's go down to the bottom. IR, improve results. Really, the only way that I know to get an improved result is to change something you're doing. And that represents the positive behavior change. So let's look at it again. A for attitude. Add in your skills and knowledge that is needed. Pop in some goals to make it easier to change your behavior. This creates a positive behavior change. You don't want a negative behavior change. You don't want to go backwards. All of that added up will lead you to the improved result that you're hoping to see. These aren't a quick fix. It does take some time to go into each one. But each result that we're looking for can be achieved using this simple formula. It's just great. So here we go. A, the attitudes. Attitudes is going to multiply really the skills and the knowledge that we achieve and add to what we already have as far as potential. And again, plus the goal achievement leads us to positive behavior change, and that equals improved results. This is true for both organizational goals and on a personal level. You can use this for anything in your life. Now, most of us recognize that in order to improve, we need to focus on skills and knowledge that we need. That is really important. There's that formula again. So the skills are how to do it. The knowledge is what to do. But have you ever known someone, maybe worked with someone that knew what to do, and they actually knew how to do it, and yet they still didn't get it done? Why? That's because the big piece of the pie is the attitude piece. Attitude is the why we want to do it in the first place. You'll notice that attitudes then multiply the skills and the knowledge that we have or that we obtain. Attitudes is the biggest piece because it has that much power, that much. So what's an attitude? I like to say that attitudes are a habit of thought. It really is the most critical component to behavior change and goal achievement, yet it's often the most overlooked. Because we can say, well, I have a good attitude, but that may be just what the personality is showing on the outside. When we really look at attitudes, they are habits of thought. So fully understanding this and properly developing your attitudes is really the most effective way to have lasting success. And guess what? You can help others develop their attitudes as well. Is that what you thought attitudes were? I'm sure whatever your answer was a great answer. You know, our attitudes impact the way we think because they're our habits of thought. The way we think impacts our behavior, and then the way we behave impacts our results. So if we want to get different results, improved results, lasting results, it's not enough just to change your behavior, your goals, what you're doing. We have to start by changing our attitudes. That in turn will change our behaviors, and then that will change our results. So, where do attitudes come from? Many behavioral psychologists have determined that 95% of our basic attitudes were developed by the time we were age 5. 5 years old? Wow. Well, think about it. What are the first of words that most babies and toddlers learn? Mama, dada, and the all-important no. Not particularly in that order, huh? But as we get older, then the no's become don'ts. We tell our children, don't touch the stove, don't draw on the wall. And then as they get a little older than that, we add some explanations. Don't touch the stove because it's hot and you'll get burnt. Don't draw on the wall because daddy will get mad, or mommy. You know, our parents and we are just actually trying to protect our children. But the don'ts end up becoming a way that we socialize as well. We would tell our young children, don't talk to, don't speak unless. Children should be seen and not. Right. Compounding this negative early conditioning is the fact that most of what we're exposed to now, today, on a daily basis is negative. Just think of the front page of the newspaper or what you hear on the news radio every day or on the internet. Would you agree that over 90% is likely negative? As a result, most people think more often about what's going to go wrong, how they might fail, why it's not going to work, rather than what is good and what is right and how something is going to work. So you want to change your attitude. So what do? And this is some of the process that we'll move through in our Launch 2012 with you. First, recognize that your attitudes are habits of thought. Know that these attitudes really do give you some level of satisfaction. So secondly, let's figure out what the satisfaction is that we get from that habit or that attitude. And then we can replace our old attitude with a new one. Let me explain. Have you ever worked with someone that just liked to let everybody know how hard they're working? Maybe they're always making comments about working late or working on the weekend. That person probably derives some level of satisfaction from letting others know how busy they are, because he associated being busy with being important. The reality is that maybe this person wasn't productive. He socialized too much during the day and then was forced to work more hours at night or on the weekend just to get things done or to make up for poor management skills. Now let's see how he could change this habit of thought, this attitude. Perhaps he decided that it was more important to spend more time, more quality time with his family in the evening instead of always working late. He might be open to thinking about the satisfaction he'd get from spending more time at home with his son and wife than at the office. So he shifts his attitude about working longer and that the satisfaction is it makes him look important. 2, working smarter every day allows me to control my time, and I'm satisfied with more time at home. The mind is really interesting. You won't be able to just pull out that old attitude without replacing it with a new one or a better attitude. You can't just pull it out and leave a void there. They say nature abhors a vacuum. It will get filled, so why not choose what you're going to fill it with? It takes some effort to recognize and to come up with a suitable alternative. It really does. And you can do it. It's what we work on with you to reach your goals and your success. Now, back to the formula for success, let's talk a little bit about skills and knowledge. Skills were the what to do. Knowledge was the how to do it. So to be effective, to grow and change, we have to have the basic skills and knowledge, right? Yes. This is what I call the foundation. How can you learn skills and knowledge? Well, the same way you learn what you know now. Now, there's actually 3 ways that people learn. The first is by inspiration. Have you ever listened to a speaker or read a book or just been inspired by someone? It's kind of those light bulb moments when you finally see something so clearly. It's kind of an aha. Now, this is great when it happens, but inspiration is really unpredictable, and it really only represents 2% of the way we learn. The second way we learned is through impact. Impact is learning. It usually happens when there's something dramatic going on or even, unfortunately, traumatic. For example, say that Bill's 100 pounds overweight and he smokes, doesn't exercise, has bad eating habits, and Bill goes to the doctor. The doctor says, "You are in serious jeopardy. If you don't stop smoking and change your lifestyle, you're going to have a heart attack and you could die in the next 6 months." There's some impact. But like inspiration, impact learning is good, but it only represents 2% of the way we learn. That means that the third way that we learn is a whopping 96%. What is it? Spaced repetition. Spaced repetition. And that's one of the reasons here at Miller Institute we talk about development versus training. Training might be a 1-day or a 2-day quick skills and knowledge session, but development is over time. That's why our Launch 2012 is done over at least 3 months with follow-up after that. Well, let me ask you, what is 4 times 5? How about 6 times 7? 3 times 10? Are you still with me? How about 13 times 19? Ah, gotcha. The reason you didn't know that last one very quickly, 13 by 19, or most of us anyway, was because we stopped learning multiplication tables up to 10, 11, or 12 perhaps. Well, let me ask you, when's the last time you even studied multiplication tables? And yet, it's probably 4th or 5th grade, somewhere around there, or maybe even earlier these days, but you still remember them, don't you? Many, many, many years later. Some of us more than others. So that's just a quick example of spaced repetition and how we see and process development here at Miller Institute. So again, welcome to our introduction here. You've got the formula for success. Come along with us, do your homework, and we'll see you next time.